Hello, and thanks for tuning in to Washington Exec's Veterans Day series, where we're speaking with some of the most innovative companies in GovCon about how they recognize this federal holiday and support veterans throughout the year. Today, I'm speaking with Larry Frazier, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of Iron Bow Technologies and also an Army veteran. Larry, thank you for your service and thank you for joining me today.
Yeah. Hi, thank you, Rachel, and thank you for this great opportunity to represent the veteran community in Irebo Technologies.
It's my pleasure. So tell us about your personal and professional connection to the veteran community and why supporting veterans is so important to you.
Supporting veterans is very important to me because I am myself a United States Army veteran. I feel is the greatest Army in the whole world. So I'm a 21-year vet. I retired honorably after 21 years, where my last assignment was at the Defense Information Systems Agency. I think throughout my storied career, I had a lot of bonds and connections with my fellow brothers and sisters in arms, and then supporting that, being a veteran helped me achieve to where I am today as a chief strategy officer here at Ironbow with strength and discipline and how I communicate and have a very transparent attitude the way I work and try to build a team concept at Ironbow.
So you've been with Iron Bow about 3 years. So tell me about how does the company support the veteran community throughout the year?
Oh, it's a great question, Rachel. I think, Ironbow is such a great company because predominantly Ironbow is a big federal entity, and within the federal entity or within the DoD. So we have a lot of hiring and talent recruiters that support programs like Skill Bridge, Hire for Our Heroes, these internship programs where we bring in veterans to support what our most trying to do is to deliver and be the next generation solutions IT provider. We celebrate Ironbow has a lot of different initiatives, not only supporting veterans, but within the D&I community. But what also one of the cool things every year is they do a montage of a lot of veterans pictures together, and they send that out on a video as a tribute to a lot of veterans. Renee, the CEO of Ironbow, also every year in veterans gives a challenge coin, and the challenge coin is very special to the veteran communities because it shows you're doing great work, and it's a simple thank you, which is kind of catering to that military lifestyle. And then last year, which was pretty cool, we had Stanley mugs with engraved a salute to you from Ironbow, which is good. And then the other thing which I'm very proud of is our Ironbow also provides a mentorship and leadership in industry. And we have where fellow veterans like myself and other veterans will mentor each other to how we can progress in industry and become better advocacy for each other. And one of the things we are starting is to start going into this program called TAPS, Transition Assistance Program, within the military to speak about what it is to transition out of the military because it's scary out there. As military veterans transition out, it's going in, it's kind of answering the unknown. And for us, for veterans at Ironbow, we like to participate into that. Some of our most senior leaders here at Ironbow are all veterans, and we like to always encourage that. But what really tickles me, which is good, is one of the short stories is our CEO Renee constantly asks me questions about the military lifestyle and everything, so he can get a broader aspect and understand how leaders' attributes kind of go into private industry, and it's really great. And so that's where that challenge coin came from, which is awesome. So.
Larry, what are some of the challenges that veterans face with this transition into private industry?
Yeah, another great question, Rachel. I think it's what I mentioned earlier. It's the fear of the unknown. Most military veterans who spend whether it's 2 years, 4 years to 20 to 30 years in the military have always a defined mission, defined role. Always has somebody or somebody giving you guidance to really say this is your next step, right? Even your schedule structured and everything else, and so. And with that becomes more in tune of a structured paycheck, structured identity of who you are. As whereas if you do that for such a long time, it's hard for to get in a different mind psyche of private industry where private industry is saying, okay, hey, we're hiring you because you're awesome, you're great. But then it's kind of an expectation where you're automatically known. And so even it's kind of funny, you have a veteran who's been in the military for 20 years, but it kind of you go in and you put them in the intern pool with college interns, right? Because they're trying to figure out the business industry. One of the funny jokes, I had a SkillBridge intern. He spent a distinguished career, 26 years in the military, was different levels of various commands. And when he was SkillBridge, it was funny. He said, we like to celebrate our interns. So you had a lot of college interns, and you had this guy who was like really gruffy and everything else, but very leadership and really wanted to connect. And so I think and you ask him and then all our other SkillBridge and Hire for Heroes and said, it's just the unknown, but what helps is having someone who understands that process and they can walk them through that process and walk them through and have that mentor. I think what helped me in industry, because before Ironbow, I was at Cisco Systems. What helped me was gravitating and finding great leaders in industry, and then have them help you navigate and for the veteran not be able for the transition veteran not be afraid to ask questions and not be afraid to say it's okay, I don't know all the answers, but I have people out there who can support me and I can help find the answers.
Tell me more about the Veterans Day programs you have planned this year.
Yeah, we mentioned before, we're doing they just asked for our pictures for the video montage. We always have, Internal Ironbow does interviews like these, and we place it on our websites, internal for everyone to go into it. It's quite funny. Even though I've been in Ironbow 3 years, I still get messages. Oh my God, Larry, I didn't know you were in the Army, right? So it's great. And then we all celebrate, and one of the programs is think we're getting together for a Veterans Day lunch kind of run before and after for us to kind of share stories and just be there for each other and talk about how great transitioning into a company like Ironbow Technologies is.
Absolutely. So, considering so many GovCon companies employ a large percentage of veterans, why is it important to you and Ironbow to continue recognizing veterans and supporting them and their families, not just on Veterans Day, but year round?
A lot of the veterans, I'm going to say 99.99999% of veterans that transition out of military has a lot of those attributes, those leadership and those attributes that really transition well into private industry. And because of that, it's they have this camaraderie and want to be able to feel acceptance, and as part of the acceptance, build into that team concept like they had in the military. And that translates well. It's like when we talk, you hear military transition member talks. It's never about it's always about the family, right? It's what's best for the family, and then that translates. Ironbow has become my family, and I think that's a lot of the GovCon in those industries. It's important to really support that, and then really understand that these veterans have wealth of experience coming into industry. Some of them most of them led command, and then some of them have, whether they're non-commissioned officers in charge of multiple different soldiers, or just really transitioned into the military and transitioned out. They do have a lot of that tangible attributes that makes them great. That makes them great personnel to transition into private industry, and then it's very important for companies like Ironbow and other GovCon companies to really recognize those leadership attributes, not only having them come in and really start maybe at a low level or mid level manager or worker bee, but really come in and say, "Hey, I recognize the person. We may need to develop this person to be the next Incander, next leader, next C-suite guy or gal." Right. So I think if you look at that, it's taking the strengths and what they learn in their wealth of experience coming in into industry. And I see more and more now, not only from Ironbow, but more and more GovCon companies recognize that. And so if you look at the DoD and some of the federal industry, and Washington Exec is a great example of recognizing veterans in industry. to do that. And so I think if we continue doing that, it's really just going to keep skyrocketing more veterans to look at GovCon and supporting that because it's also a way for us to give back and continue serving.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Rachel, and I appreciate it. Happy Veterans Day.